Dave Anderson here with the Fisherman magazine. It's April 10th. These are your headlines. Of course, the big headline of the week is opening day of trout season in Rhode Island and Connecticut on Saturday. We're also seeing really good striped bass activity around the herring runs this week, and the largemouth bass fishing has been off the chain. Stay tuned for all that and more on this week's New England Fishing Forecast.
The ultimate fishing authority in the Northeast, the Fisherman magazine.
No guessing, just catching. New Explore Series fish finders keep you locked on fish with unbeatable clarity, best-in-class imaging options, and a stunning ultra-bright HD screen. There's more to explore, only with Humminbird.
Before we begin, we got a few news items for you guys. First one we'll talk about is opening day. We've got opening day of trout season in Rhode Island, which is the first time that these trout-stocked waters will be able to be fished in 6 or 7 weeks. That's a good thing for a lot of different reasons. Any fish in that pond is going to be unpressured, so whether you want to go for trout or you want to go for something like largemouth bass, those fish haven't seen a lure or a bait in 6 or 7 weeks, which can only be a good thing as far as angling goes. I think if you're a bass guy, maybe you're not going to go on opening day, but maybe Tuesday, Wednesday next week, I think we're going to see some really good bass fishing in these ponds that haven't seen any pressure at all. Over in Connecticut, as you know, we have we have the opening of harvest season. So since March 1st, it's been catch and release only. I think that's the better way to go. We get more business for the tackle shops. We get more people reasons to get outside and fish during those, last 6-7 weeks of winter. And as far as I've seen, there has no change in the amount of enthusiasm for opening day in Connecticut when compared to Rhode Island. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the catch and release season is all good things. I'd really like to see Rhode Island adopt that. But in either case, the tradition stands tall, and we're still going to see lots of guys out there fishing this weekend. We're going to see lots of kids. We're going to see lots of parents and grandparents. We're going to see multi-generations fishing. All good things, and hopefully we're going to see a lot of photos coming in next week. Next thing I want to talk about is I just want to remind everybody that when you subscribe to the Fisherman magazine, you're going to get, not only do you get the 12 paper editions sent to your house, but you also get 26 digital editions sent to your email. Those come every single week from April through mid-November. That means we are putting out a fishing magazine every single week. No one knows that better than I do because I'm the one who's got to put it together. It's a lot of work, but it's a great, great thing. And it just adds more value to that $32 subscription cost. This week, we have 3 columns. We have a surf column by me about choosing a surf rod and sort of matching it to your style of fishing, which is a very important thing. I think you guys will like that story. We have the bait report by Matt Broderick. This talks about all the bait species you're likely to see in salt water from April moving into early May. And the last thing, we have a freshwater column. This one's by Bruce Litton. And this one's all about fishing pressured waters for largemouth bass and how to make the most of that. And that's basically what you're going to see in all these digital editions. We have 3 columns in every single one of them. There's a surf column in just about all of them. There's an inshore column in just about all of them. And then we have sort of a catch bin of a bunch of different other columns. We have inshore, freshwater, offshore. We have cooking. We have tackle tip. We have fly fishing. I know I'm forgetting a few other ones. There's also reader galleries in there. You're going to get a bunch of fishing news from local sources. You're also going to get a full slate of reports from our field editors, and you're going to get an editor's log from me. It's just like the paper magazine, only it's online. So if you're not a subscriber, head over there. You have enough free credits to go check that out before you got to pay. You get a much better idea of what we do. And if you are a subscriber, make sure you don't forget about checking out that digital edition, because it's every bit as informative and interesting as the paper edition, and I just wanted to remind you guys about that. Next thing, of course, is a giveaway, which is ongoing. Starting to see more photos coming in. Not that that's any big surprise. The weather's getting better and a lot more people getting out there fishing. We're going to give away a surf howdy made by me along with a Dexter fillet knife. And this one's going to wrap up on May 25th, so we still got quite a long time. We still got about 6 weeks or so until this version of the giveaway is going to wrap up. And if you guys don't know the drill by now, I'm just going to run through it really quickly. You got to send in a picture of you holding your fish. You got to give me all the details. It's got to be, where it was caught, who caught it, how big the fish was, what it was caught on, all that stuff. We'll get you in the magazine. We'll get you in the reports, and hey, he might even win something cool. Again, we're giving away a lure made by me and a Dexter fillet knife. So get those photos in and we'll see who wins.
For more than 20 years, anglers everywhere have come to know one thing, that nothing says no to fish bites.
Moving over to the reports now, I'm not getting any more ice fishing reports coming out of the North Country at this point. I don't think anyone's ice fishing anymore. Or maybe they are, just not hearing about it. But more of what I'm hearing is guys stream fishing, river fishing, down East Maine and into New Hampshire, and then right along the Massachusetts border and probably, stretching a little bit further into New Hampshire and Vermont. Guys are open water fishing now for largemouth and smallmouth bass, some pike fishing, some pickerel fishing, and by all accounts, the bite's been pretty solid. Crossing the border into Massachusetts, let's check in now with Kevin Huang from Surfland Bait and Tackle.
What's up, guys? Kevin from Surfland Bait and Tackle checking in with the weekly report. The party boats, with all the weather that's been happening, the gale warnings, the cancellations, it's been really hit or miss for them. And then every time they've been going out, they've been looking for the haddock, which is, they're trying to locate him right now. Freshwater fishing, oof. The pike, there's been some nice pike caught in the Merrimack. Carp fishing's been good. Crappie, some guys been getting some slab crappie in the Merrimack. Freshwater, I mean, any day now, smallmouth. I think I'm gonna try to get out soon to target some smallies in the Merrimack and see what happens. I love throwing rattle traps for them at this time of the year. And then everybody is trying for white perch. Haven't heard of anything crazy yet, but all the other guys are getting ready for shad fishing, which is gonna start pretty soon, guys. So I just keep track of the water temperatures, and it's still a little too cold. We want to hit that magic 50 degree mark for them. So it's almost there. We just need more days like today. I'll see you guys next week.
Drop it down into the Boston area. I checked in with Danny Parma. He said that they were going to take advantage of a nice day and do a bunch of work on the boat, so he wasn't going to have time to shoot a video. But he did tell me that there's been some seals around in the bay chasing bait. They've seen a lot of bird activity, which is sort of a harbinger of things to come. Of course, there's no migratory fish in the Boston area just yet, but you like to see that bait around. You like to see those, sea mammals feeding. And probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we should start seeing the first sort of schooly scout stripers showing up in that area. And there's nothing but good news after that. Heading into Central Mass, as we talked about last week, Wachusett Reservoir opened on April 5th. And as is typical, the reservoir opened up to great fishing. Saw a lot of nice smallmouth caught this week. Saw lots of nice lake trout that were landed this week. And it's not like one of those things that's only going to be good for a week and then it's going to taper off. Wachusett typically is very good until, I would say, mid-May. And you can fish so many different ways in there. If you're going to do the lake trout thing, you can do shiners, you can do jerk baits, you can do jigs, you can do all kinds of different stuff. Smallmouth fishing, same thing. You get up into some of those coves or along some of those rocky shorelines and just fish them like you would anywhere else. The place has some titanic smallmouth in there. And because it doesn't get fished from a boat, it doesn't get the same kind of pressure, and it really grows some big fish. So you definitely want to check Wachusett out. And if it's a fishery that you've wanted to get in on and you just kind of didn't know how, definitely pick up the April edition, read Jamie Price's article about it. It's going to give you all the little details you need to get started at Wachusett, and I think you're really going to enjoy that fishery. Heading out west now, let's check in with Roy Leyva. Here he is.
Hey Dave, Roy Leyva here from Western Mass. We took a step back this week. We actually have gotten a lot of snow. It's gone by the afternoon, but we've gotten it in the morning. It's been really cold. This morning temps here at my house when I left for work was 17 degrees, and I think it got up to like 34 degrees today. So it's been bittery cold here. Stocking trucks still continue to roll. They've been doing a ton of stocking. A lot of the rivers, small creeks and a lot of the lakes, just because we've gotten a lot of water as well. So like the Connecticut River and stuff are really up high. A lot of the boat ramps are closed. But the lakes and ponds are still very active. It seems like, normally the last couple of years we've had such a warm winter, and we kind of skip spring and go right into summer. And this year it looks like we're going to get an actual spring. So some people don't like it because of the cold weather. I personally, I love it because it prolongs, one, the pre-spawn for bass fishing. So you get more chances to catch a big lunker in that time span. You know, it's just not going straight to summertime and then they've spawned and now they're lighter. And the other thing is, if you like to trout fish or pike fish, you know, the pike spawns over and you got that stretch of cold water, which pike are very active in, and you have that long stretch of cold water that trout are very active in before they go into the deep water. So, like I said, out here in Western Mass, plenty of fishing, but you're going to have to bundle up and don't plan to go out of the rivers because they're just blown out. All right, peace. Catch you next week.
Headed down into the southeast Mass area, you know, Plymouth to New Bedford out to the canal. A lot of guys have been doing the stock trout thing and finding some great results. You got Long and Little Pond, you got Mary's Pond, you got a whole bunch of other ones in that area that are stocked and putting out. We're seeing some big trout this year. We're seeing some really nice rainbow trout being caught. The other thing we're seeing more and more of now is just better and better largemouth bass fishing. It seemed like it took a little bit longer to sort of get up to speed this year, probably because it's just been so cold. But the jerkbait bite's been good. We're seeing a lot of fish now caught on jigs, and we're seeing more and more action on swim baits, even some nighttime action on swim baits, which is really good. And that extends right out onto the Cape, where the fishing has been about the same. We're seeing some really nice largemouth, seeing lots of trout activity. And, you know, the state just keeps stocking out there. So that bite should hang on for several weeks from now until at least the end of May, I would say. On the saltwater end of things, not a lot of guys doing much other than the holdover striped bass guys. Holdover guys I know are very tight-lipped and not talking about exactly where it's happening. Guys are getting some fish. The salt ponds down off of Falmouth definitely hold some fish. You got some spots up around the Buzzards Bay area as well that have some holdover fish. And then the only other saltwater news I've heard this week is just more and more togs showing up at the west end of the canal. You know, most of those fish are being caught by the cadets at the Maritime Academy who have the clearance to fish off the military piers and docks. But this is the beginning of that, and it's just going to branch out from there. Within the next week or two, we'll see a lot more guys out togging and a lot more guys out catching. And that's what I have for you guys in Massachusetts this week.
In the famed waters of Panama awaits a fishing experience like no other. Tropic Star Lodge welcomes anglers to get in on world-famous fishing action. Plan your perfect trip today. Tropic Star Lodge, the ultimate in fishing adventures for more than 60 years.
Moving over into Rhode Island, we'll start things off with an East Bay report from TJ Kopecky.
Thanks, Dave. Hey guys, gotta say, Mother Nature in the East Bay is just not cooperating. A lot of signs are here that say that, you know, we should have fish. The forsythias are blooming, the dandelions are in your lawn. All things that, you know, old school fishermen look for when they have a sign that the tog are going to be here. But I got to tell you, just the weather is just not cooperating. Mother Nature is just hasn't helped us out on her end to get us some warmer water and some warmer days. But I got to say, you know, one good thing to look forward to is the opening day here for trout season in the East Bay. And there's a few ponds that, you know, you can hit. Brickyard Pond, you get Stafford Pond, and you got Melville. All great stock ponds that I'm sure are going to be packed with people. The weather doesn't look good for Saturday or Sunday with some rain and some showers. But I got to tell the majority of us, you know, fishing, we don't mind the weather, and we'll be out there fishing. I haven't heard too many reports of holdover striped bass in the Providence or the Seekonk. I just think the weather being so bad would be lack of people getting out and reporting to me. I checked in with my friend Matt, and he hasn't been doing any fishing lately at all. So it was a little slow here in the East Bay, but like I said, people gearing up. Lucky Bait's been open 6 to 6 every day, and I'm sure that place has been packed with people buying licenses and getting all their gear ready for opening day at 6 a.m. on Saturday. And hopefully you guys get out there and send us your pictures of all those trout you're catching. Tight lines, guys.
Rhode Island's been punching above its weight as far as I can tell. We're seeing a lot of nice largemouth coming out of several waters across the state, and with trout season opening up this Saturday, we're going to have a lot more options as far as places we can go to target largemouth, and of course we'll have the bonus of being able to target those trout. But we saw last week we saw Jeff's 8.32 pounder, if I remember the exact weight. Another friend of mine had a fish over 7 this week. Seen several 5s and 6s across the Ocean State this week. And I really think that's just going to continue. I think we're kind of just getting into that sort of ramp up to spawn. Probably still have 2 or 3 weeks before they start getting on the beds. And I mean, this is go time as far as I'm concerned. And an opportunity to catch some really nice fish. The other thing we're seeing is a lot more striped bass activity. And if you're on Facebook, maybe you saw this photo. I'm going to blur out the guy's face because I don't have permission to use the photo, but this went viral. This guy, he posted it on a couple of the Rhode Island fishing boards as a striped bass. I think it was 42 inches that was supposedly caught in Mount Hope Bay. But it took me about 4 seconds to expose this as a an old photo. All you have to do is zoom in a little bit and you see that cooler right next to him is full of scup. Now, somebody might just say, hey, the guy's just fishing scup out of season. But I challenge you to go out and catch a scup right now. I don't think you're going to find one, especially up in the bay. So this is just an old photo that somebody posted to create some hype around themselves. And, as far as I'm concerned, it was a failure. I just wanted to pass that along. However, we are seeing lots of striped bass caught in the holdover areas or in the adjacent areas to the holdover spots, up in the bay, up inside the tidal rivers, or up inside the salt ponds. These fish are now relating to herring runs. And guys are getting these fish on baits that replicate herring, like big paddle tail swim baits or larger glide baits or big plastic lip swimmers or even like a Danny plug or something like that. These bigger baits are drawing strikes from bigger bass. We're seeing a lot of fish now in the low to mid 30-inch range. I haven't heard of anything like exceptionally large, but it's been really great to see so many striped bass around. So it doesn't matter what kind of bass you want to catch right now. If you want to go for largemouth or stripers, you've got the opportunity to get that done. And while we're talking about those fish, let's check in now with Jeff Sullivan.
What's up, Dave? What's up, guys? Checking back in this week. So the last couple weeks, my center of attention has been largemouth fishing and some panfish here and there too. But the largemouth bite's been extremely good, to say the least. Actually, it's been stellar. We got fish moving up by the day, by the hour, by the week. They're chewing. We're getting really big size fish, and everywhere in between. Now, I like to fish those swim shads, the big Huddlestons, the Kitex, the deep diving jerk baits, the suspending jerk baits. All those you just bring an array of baits, so you have your options to choose from what those fish are doing that day. Sometimes I have to get them off a deep structure when they push back out. When we get some unsettling weather, some fish push out and then come back in when the weather settles back in. But yeah, just, you got to put in the time, guys, and, make adjustments on the fly. I switch in and out of my stuff. Like, I switch baits in and out every night, every day, just to kind of get a better edge on what these fish are doing. But as far as bass fishing goes, guys, it's been excellent. It's been top notch. So you want to fish of your life, you want the bass of your life, now is the time to get them. Go out there, put the work in, and hey, you never know, you get the biggest bass of your life. As far as a pan fishing bite goes, the yellow perch bite has been pretty damn good. They're spawning now, so they're probably going to harass all your bass baits. If you're targeting bass, your crankbaits, your jerk baits, they're going to harass them if they're in there. They're just aggressive right now. They're on the hunt for food. So if you're into yellow perch fishing, it's been very good. I did encounter a crappie bite too, which is great to see. Those guys are starting to arise and starting to wake up for the spring, which is nice class fish. If you guys are out there looking for some crappie, they are out there. The white perch bite it's been okay. It's not as consistent as I want it to be right now, and I know why, but I'm going to give them another break, give them after this warm front pushes through and see what happens. It should fire right up. I'll check back with them in 2 weeks or so. But as for the saltwater side of things, guys, probably, 2 weeks, I'll be on the hunt for those striped bass. I just, right now I'm in full-blown pre-spawn mode, and then, I'll dive right into my plug bag and start start my night shifts. So, you know, the bite's been good, Dave. I can't complain. Hey, hope to see you out there Saturday. It's trout time. Later.
Now we'll head down toward Point Judith and we'll check in with Captain John Lee from JL Charters.
Hey, it's John Lee, Point Judith, Rhode Island. It's April 9th. I'm out here on the pilot boat. We're about 3 miles south of the Charlestown Beachway. We got a ship that's coming out of New London that we're going to meet. Pretty quiet out here. I'm not really seeing much of anything. It's still a little early, but we're right around that time where things are going to start to change. We should start seeing some squid up inside here, some schoolie stripers up inside. I am hearing reports that the lobsters are kind of moving around in the rocks, but I'm not seeing any commercial activity yet. So there's no little draggers inshore. Everyone's just kind of waiting. Most of the fish are still south of block. The scup, the sea bass, the whiting, the butterfish, all that stuff's kind of hurting inshore right now. So we're just kind of waiting for that to happen, and that's about it. I'll get up with you. Have a good one.
And while we're down at the point, what I've been hearing from the party boats is that the cod fishing is still very slow. One of the boats went out last week, and I think what I heard was they got 2 fish. So, you know, I don't know what it is. I don't know what what's different this year. Maybe it's just still too cold, but the cod bite still very slow. Just keep your eyes on their social media. When things start ticking up, that's when you want to pull the trigger to get on one of those trips. Heading along South County, have not heard of any migratory striped bass yet, except for those ones that showed up at the West Wall like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That must have just, I would have to say those were holdover fish, just made a move. There are still some striped bass being caught up inside the Pawcatuck River, and I haven't heard of a lot of guys tog fishing really anywhere in the state, but I'm going to blame that on the weather. Really windy and rainy all week, and I think that kept most people off the water. So we'll check in with the tog guys next week, and that's what I have for you guys in Rhode Island this week.
Are you the best angler in the Northeast? Well, now is your chance to prove it. The Fisherman's Dream Boat Contest is back. Win this Steigercraft center console powered by Yamaha along with these other great prizes. Fish hard and weigh in as many of these species to be top on the leaderboard. What's the catch? You must be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine. All it takes is 1 fish on the board to win a great prize, so however you fish, you have a shot. For all the details and official rules, visit thefisherman.com.
Moving over into Connecticut, we have trout season opening up on Saturday at 6 a.m. And, you know, as we talked about in the news portion, we've had the catch and release season for the last 6 or 7 weeks, but there's not going to be any reduction in enthusiasm for opening day. You're still going to see major crowds at the most popular trout fishing spots. You're still going to see lots of guys in the tackle shops buying bait and licenses and putting line on their reels and new lures and all that stuff. And you're still going to see a lot of smiling faces, especially those little kids out there catching their first trout of the year. So all good things as far as I'm concerned on that front. The other thing that's going on is very similar to what we were just talking about in Rhode Island. The herring runs inside these tidal rivers that have holdover populations, like the Thames, like the Connecticut River, like the Housatonic, and like some of these smaller tidal rivers that sort of dot the coast really all across the coastline of Connecticut. We're seeing striped bass at the herring runs. These fish are taking the same baits. You've got paddle tail swim baits, you got the big rat tail soft plastics, you've got plastic lip swimmers, you've got glide baits, you've got dandy plugs. You got magic swimmers. That's one of my favorites around the runs, actually. And guys are finding some solid fish. Again, I'm not hearing about anything titanic, but you know, up in the Housatonic, you might find a fish up into the mid 40-inch class. Everywhere else, it's been like 28 to 38 inches. And I don't think it's been like gangbusters, but these guys are, you know, the guys that are grinding it out, that are hitting 2 or 3 spots, they're finding some fish, and the bite has been pretty solid from what I've been hearing. Up inside the Connecticut River, Rowan is busy this week and could not shoot a video. He did send me a few details. He said the river is high and muddy, and which is putting a damper on some of the fisheries. So the carp fishing's been pretty good up inside the, up in the way back waters. Said there's been some smallmouth action. Said the catfish bite should still be very good, and he reiterated what I've already said, and that is that getting up around the herring runs may put you in line to get a nice sized striped bass. Heading down the river now, let's check in with Mike Roy from Reelcast Charters.
Hey everybody, for this week's fishing report, we did start fishing and the first day was good. The stripers were biting pretty good, mostly on, as expected, the half-ounce jig head with a 5 3/4 inch finesse fish. That's really the hot ticket right now. But next week, the weather is going to start to improve. I think the bite's going to improve. We'll probably start getting fish on sluggos. I've been here getting all my gear ready. Got a whole bunch of plastics. Those flutter spoons, we're going to start using those spoons in May when those bigger migratory fish show up. But next couple of weeks, we should have a pretty good bite window. These holdover fish have been in the river, but as the temperature starts to creep up a little bit, they'll get more active, they'll bite better. They're fun on light tackle. That's really our focus for the next couple of weeks, and getting the boats ready. I just waxed my boat. I was going to polish the aluminum, but we are ready to go. We have openings, so I think next week might be April break. If you're looking to go out and do some fishing, reach out to us.
Now let's cross the river and check in with Matt Stone from Black Hall Outfitters.
What's up everyone, Matt here from Black Hall Outfitters in Westbrook with this week's fishing report. April's not starting off with that hard warming trend that we were hoping for. Water near me and out front is between 44 and 46 degrees. Definitely not where we want it to be right now, but it only takes a week or so of good weather to really start that trend in the right direction. Some folks are getting winter flounder with sandworms and clams, things of that nature. There's some backwater schoolies available. They're not as plentiful as they have been in years past, but they're around with all the small soft plastics, the same stuff we've been talking about all winter. Freshwater's been really good. There's a lot of trout. I've been killing some time with those guys. Bass are biting well. Pickerel are always biting well. Spinner baits, crankbaits, jigs, big glide baits for you guys who love to throw those are working well on some good pre-spawn fish, so that's always fun. Blackfish, winter blackfish, jumping back to saltwater. Western Sound, I've heard they're getting some fish over there. Central, I tried yesterday for a couple hours just for fun, and as expected, Skunk City. So, I'm waiting just along with everyone else for this warming trend to kick off, and when it does, I'll be really happy to find some fish. So until then, we wait, we hope, and it's inevitably on its way.
The western half of the Sound has been the best spot for saltwater fishing. We're seeing some striped bass still moving along the coastline, and they're inching further east with every passing day. But the better fishing has definitely been from like the New York border out to, say, New Haven area. The other thing that's been happening is the togging has been pretty good, out around the New Haven walls, the Stratford walls, and any of those other like major rocky structures or some of the wrecks out in the Western Sound have had some fish. It's always slow to start, but that's your best bet if you want to get on some tog. And now I'm going to throw it over to Max Finch. He knows more about the Western Sound than I do, so here's Max Finch from Fisherman's World.
Hey everyone, Max here from Fisherman's World with another local fishing report. This past week, the trout fishing reports have been really good. The striped bass fishing report's been really good, and there's been some talk of some winter flounder being caught in our local waters. The Houstonic is the place to be right now, where we're seeing fish up to like 40 inches upriver being caught on stuff like SPs, mag darters, and big soft plastics. To increase your odds, definitely try fishing the high incoming at night, places like a Sullivan's Island and up towards the dam. Down towards the mouth, there's a lot of schoolies and some slot-sized fish starting to leave the river. This is a really good time of year to get on the bite if you're a fly rodder, or if you're just spinning, trying to, shake off that winter dust on your gear and put a bend in a rod. On our local beaches like Norwalk Pasture Beach and Rhode Island, there's some schoolies being caught on mostly sandworms and bloodworms, and the Norwalk Harbor and the tidal part of the river there is being caught as well. Winter flounder, there's been a couple caught. I saw some pictures off of Norwalk, shallow water. A lot of people bring clam chum, sandworms, and corn. I would concentrate like near the oyster steaks off Capt pasture, and then near Peach Island and Round Beach. Those seem to be really good areas, to really try to target the winter flounder. The trout fishing side, the state's been a really good job stocking our local rivers. We had really strong reports this past week, and Norwalk River fishing really well, so that's great news. And remember, this Saturday is opening day where you're allowed to harvest the trout. We're fully stocked up on all your freshwater needs from, shiners, worms, spinners, small jigs, and small castmers, anything you need to get out there and fish. Thanks and good luck.
And that's what I have for you guys in the reports this week. Hopefully it's going to inspire you to get out there. We got opening day of trout season this weekend. I know a lot of you guys are going to get out there and get on that. Don't forget to take some pictures and send them in, especially if you got the little guys. We love putting the little guys in the magazine. If you're not a subscriber to The Fisherman, I highly recommend you head over to our website. That's thefisherman.com. You're going to get a full taste of what we offer. We cover all the fishing from Delaware to Maine. We travel outside the region. Even tropical stuff, we cover that. We cover all fishing disciplines, whether you're going to be offshore or whether you're going to be on the paddleboard or whether you're fishing from the surf or fishing some blue line river way up in northern Connecticut. It's all covered. It's $31.95 for the year. It's the best $32 you can spend in fishing. You're going to get 12 paper editions. You're going to get 26 digital editions. You're going to get digital access to all the back issues, plus our other 2 editions, of which we have 3. So you're going to get whatever one you subscribe to, which I hope is going to be the New England one. And then you'll get digital access to the Long Island Metro and the New Jersey, Delaware. Man, I just can't even think of a reason why you wouldn't want to do it. It's the best $32 you can spend in fishing. But if you're still not interested after all that, at the very least, give us a like and subscribe here on YouTube and hit that little bell thing right there so you get a notification every time we post something new. I appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.